Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey. Great to see you, General. Tell us first and foremost, so you and fellow Attorney General Jeff Landry in Louisiana have brought a lawsuit against President Biden and other administration officials, alleging that they colluded with big tech to squash the Hunter Biden laptop story, as well as information about the origins of COVID-19. In a New York Post op-ed, Landry writes, the First Amendment prohibits censorship, yet the Biden team has worked to circumvent this fundamental constitutional protection by inducing, threatening, and colluding with private companies to suppress speech. It's illegal. But when big government enters into such a conspiracy with big business to violate your rights, it's also known by another name, fascism. Tell us what you've uncovered.
Yeah, thank you for having me first and foremost. And let me just say, this is about protecting the Constitution. And I couldn't agree with those sentiments more. And I'm proud to have partnered with the Louisiana Attorney General on this case because it's the most important First Amendment case in a generation. We've uncovered a vast censorship enterprise, coercion and collusion between officials at the White House and across federal bureaucratic agencies and their cronies in big tech social media to target and censor free speech in America. And we're going to stand up and fight for Americans' First Amendment rights. And that's what this is about.
Yeah, that's totally what it's about. So I look at this and it seems pretty simple. Some of the evidence that we've seen come out in this case and others, they're pressuring big tech to censor American speech that's contrary to the First Amendment. It seems like this is an open and shut case. What's their defense?
We haven't heard one yet, and that's what's frightening to us. You know, in this country, we used to elevate the rules of the game above the players and the outcomes, but the Biden administration has clearly jettisoned that approach in favor of censorship of Americans' free speech. And it's frightening. I mean, look at where the nerve center of the vast censorship enterprise has been developed, and that's in the Department of Homeland Security. That was an agency stood up in the wake of 9/11 to protect Americans from foreign attack, and instead it's been weaponized to silence Americans' free speech rights and a betrayal of our trust and our values, and we're not going to stand for it. We're going to protect the Constitution and use the tools at our disposal to accomplish that mission.
Where are you in the legal process, though? What are next steps? And, for example, in the Biden administration, because in the op-ed that your fellow Attorney General wrote in the New York Post, he references one particular individual, the director of digital strategy in the Biden White House in particular. But how many people say in the Biden White House were involved in this attempted suppression of speech?
Well, first of all, we have tens of thousands of pages of records, hundreds of pages of depositions. We've deposed key officials at the White House, at the FBI, at Homeland Security, and at the State Department, and we're not finished yet. We're going to continue to root out this vast censorship enterprise that violates Americans' free speech, and we're not going to stop. But the key piece of evidence we found is that there were individuals at the White House specifically targeting conservative voices on big tech social media. And it's not just about COVID. It's about the Hunter Biden laptop story as well. It's about the election interference in 2020. We know for a fact unequivocally that officials in the national security apparatus of this country at the FBI were meeting with the big tech social media platforms with increased frequency in the weeks and months leading up to the 2020 election. And what that did was they coerced the big tech social media companies into suppressing the Hunter Biden laptop story. Now, that's information Americans deserve to hear. They deserve to have that information in free, fair, and open debate to make good decisions at the ballot box, and they were deprived of that information.
You know, Mr. Attorney General, I'm shocked that we don't have more media individuals, companies out there, more just Americans, people who've served in government, outraged that we would have the Biden administration actually engaging in this kind of censorship. I want to wish you the best of luck. Just one last quick question. Does this actually get decided in the Supreme Court? Is that where this goes? I have 15 seconds.
We're in the United States District Court right now. We're still in the discovery phase. We intend to ask for a court order to put a stop to it and to protect Americans' First Amendment rights. And we'll take that fight all the way up to the highest court in the land if that's what it takes.
Good for you, Attorney General. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.